As always, presented by the King Economics Division of the Social Sciences Department, Season 6, Episode 8. With me, as always, Jack. Hello, Jack. Griffin, good morning. As you can see, we have a little technical difficulty on my side of the Zoom call. Can't get my camera working today. We decided to go with it anyway. I hope you don't mind, viewers, listeners. This will not affect you at all. In Hot Topics today, we have software-defined vehicles from Jack. Griffin reviews the Iowa GOP caucus results, and EVs had a bad week in the New Hampshire primaries Tuesday. And as always, we'll check in with what's happening in the King community. We'll check in on sports. We'll check in with our King poll results. We've changed it up a little bit this week with our food poll. And as always, we'll check on economic data and financial market price action. Jack, your story scares me a little bit. I feel like this means I'll be spied on even more. And I'm now more reluctant than ever to buy a new car. I don't know if I'm right about this, Jack, but tell us about this. I've never heard of this before, although I may have heard of the concepts, but never in this title. Software-defined vehicles. What do you have for us, Jack?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Roche. With advancements in computing and processing power, software-defined vehicles, also known as SDVs, could permanently alter the automotive market. With technological advances in cars is nothing new, with CarPlay and Bluetooth technology being a staple of the modern automobile. SDVs have so much more potential. For example, SDVs can be upgraded remotely with new features without a trip to a dealership or mechanic, just like an app on your phone. Sounds like a fantasy? Well, you may already be driving an SDV, battery-powered electric vehicles from brands like Tesla, for instance, equipped with ample computing power, memory headroom, and their own built-in operating systems are already showing the capabilities of these data-driven machines. The road to widespread adoption of SDV will be long, and it will be up to automakers to convince regulators but more importantly, drivers, that SDVs are just as safe as their less technologically inclined predecessors.
All right, Jack. So who are the big players in this emerging market of SDVs?
Well, Tesla and other electric vehicles are leading the way for SDV production, but the big players like Volkswagen, GM, and BMW, for instance, are starting to catch up. In fact, SDVs could account for 90% of total auto production by 2029, up from 3.4% in 2021.
Griffin, it's that time of year. We're in 2024, presidential race, Senate races, House races, legislative races across the country. It's primary season, and Donald Trump's out in front with the first primary win in Iowa. Tell us about the results of the Iowa caucus last week.
Yeah, Donald Trump, the former president, secured a historic triumph in the Iowa caucuses on Monday, leaving his competitors significantly trailing behind. This victory solidified his hold on the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Those who ventured out contributed to Trump's impressive win, surpassing the record for a contested Iowa Republican caucus by approximately 30 points. Trump finished with 51% of the vote, with 99% of votes counted. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis won just over 21%, edging former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley at 19%. In Iowa, Trump demonstrated notable influence across urban, small-town, and rural communities as indicated by AP Votecast. He garnered strong support from evangelical Christians and individuals without a college degree. Additionally, a majority of caucus goers expressed alignment with Trump's Make America Great Again movement. However, Trump did struggle amongst people in the suburbs, where only a third of them supported him.
Griff, I'm going to talk about it. What do you have next on your calendar for the primaries?
Yeah, the Republican competition quickly transitions to New Hampshire, where the first in-the-nation primary is scheduled for January 23rd. Following a lackluster fourth-place finish, conservative entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy has decided to suspend his campaign, and as a result, the field will narrow as he endorses Trump.
Yeah, he endorsed Trump. Sounds like he might be setting himself up for White House press secretary in a potential Trump administration. The polls are right on this one. We'll see if the polls are right in New Hampshire, which is what I want to talk about now. I have a couple stories I want to bring up real quickly. Some EVs issues and, of course, the New Hampshire primary. The reputation of electric vehicles took a big hit this week. First, Hertz, the car rental company, is selling off their fleet of EVs, citing repair costs and lack of demand from customers. They will replace the EVs with gas-powered cars. The majority of those sold into the rental market will be Teslas. The first wave of sales will include about 20,000 vehicles, which will surely push down prices for used EVs. Also, in the same realm, EVs, this past week, the polar vortex in the north central states has complicated the lives of EV owners. Hundreds of Tesla drivers across the country, particularly Chicago, found out what we have known for many decades, and that is the cold saps energy from batteries. ICE car owners know this well, though all it takes to get the ICE car going again is a quick jump from a fellow driver. Not so for EV owners. The charging ports wouldn't work in the cold, the battery packs don't hold electricity for as long, and the charging time increases sharply. Tesla used car prices and Tesla stock both took a hit. Used car prices dropped by over $1,000, and the stock price is down 18% to $212 per share from $261 per share. And then quickly noting on the back of Griffin's commentary, also we have the New Hampshire primary on Tuesday, tomorrow. Polls show Donald Trump with a big lead. A poll Sunday, the Boston Globe Suffolk poll has Trump at 55%, Haley at 36%, and DeSantis at 6%. DeSantis has given up on New Hampshire and has his focus on South Carolina. According to New Hampshire Secretary of State, thousands of Democrats have switched their voter registration to independent so they can vote in the Republican primary, with the idea being they will vote for Haley to stop Trump. President Biden will not be on the ballot. For the first time in 50 years, the president won't be on the ballot in New Hampshire. The DNC has called the New Hampshire primary as non-compliant with their new rules established after Biden declared he wanted South Carolina to be the first state to vote in the Dem primaries. The National Party, Democrats, have called the New Hampshire primary meaningless.
So, Mr. Roche, what does ICE stand for?
It's easy, Jack. Internal combustion engine. All right, let's go on to King things. As always, check in our King community, check in on sports. We do have some polls. We have some food polls this week. All right, Griffin, tell us what's going on in our wonderful King community.
Well, to start off, while Martin Luther King Day was on Monday, the weather postponed Dr. Clyde Beverly's impactful speech commemorating Dr. King until Thursday. Even though it was delayed, Dr. Beverly spoke on connecting Dr. King's message with this year's theme, Living with Purpose. He gave insight on how Dr. King inspires him to be the man he is today. Students in the arts programs recently entered into the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, which is a nationwide competition among the best teen artists. 4 students, Cece Campbell, Sydney Haubin, Olivia Rodriguez, and Charlotte Janney, were all selected for awards. Over the past week, students from both upper and lower school engaged in the Francophile world. They came together to exchange their understanding of the language and culture, creating an experience that had members from the upper school get to teach the lower schoolers about the culture. The event showcased French fairy tales and emphasized the importance of literature in safeguarding cultural heritage.
Always a great update. Always great things going on at King. Jack, what's going on in the sports world? How are our sports team doing?
It was an action-packed week for King sports. King Ice Hockey opened their week with a dominant 5-1 win over the Portledge School before losing 4-3 against FAA title rivals Rye Country Day School in overtime after some egregious refereeing. Boys basketball picked up a win away against St. Luke's, winning 64-56 on the road in a big FIA game. In addition, our middle school teams had a lot of action this week, including our middle school basketball blue team picking up a win versus the Unquoa school, and the middle school hockey team also picking up a 5-1 win, but against Greenwich Country Day School.
Jack, excellent pronunciation, my man. Well done. Jack, do you have any insight into the egregious refereeing?
I mean, it was unbelievable. The refs just kept missing calls, and then they would realize that there was a mistake and then make a super late call. And I mean, it was just a nuisance and really overshadowed King's great play. Our coaches have sent a complaint into the league about the refereeing crew, so we'll see if any action can happen on that in the future.
Doesn't sound very fair. Let's hope it works out okay. Kings are having a great season on the ice, so hopefully it wouldn't impact them too badly. All right, so it turns out we've kind of gone through the cycle of our lunches 1.5 times already. And it never occurred to me, but of course we have I think it's a 1-month cycle. Thank goodness, because we get to have those great dishes over and over again through the year. So it was getting a little redundant to talk about the things we've already talked about twice. What do you think, guys? Agree?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
And so we'll come back to them maybe in April or March or something. Just, and we haven't talked about the burgers in a while. We haven't talked about the sweet and sour chicken in a while. How's it going? But in the meantime, as always, we give our shout out to the great team at King and Flick that take care of us every day. So we'll pause the entree reviews for a little while. We'll come back to them. We will preview lunch, entrees, and soup for the week coming up this week. But in the meantime, we'll come up with some fun food poll questions. And we came up with a few of them this week. And so this week we had 3 poll questions. Thank you to all who took the poll. Griff, please take our poll next week. Another good sample size. Start us off, Griff.
Yeah, so first we asked, you have a potato, what will you make? Number 1 was French fries with 34.7%. Number 2 was a baked potato with 17.3%. And number 3 was a tie between mashed potatoes and hash browns at 12.2%.
Griff, what would you have chosen? Did you see the poll? Do you like a particular type of potato?
Honestly, I would probably go with the French fries.
French fries?
But I'm surprised. I don't know. Was potato chips an option?
Chips was an option.
I'm surprised chips didn't do better.
Yeah, chips did not do well.
I chose French fries. I don't know. I feel like that's the go-to thing for me.
Yep. French fries I have a hard time cooking at home. I must say, I don't have a fryer at home. I'll do it in a pan. I don't have great success with that. So I went with baked potato, which is always good. Baked potato and salad is a wonderful little meal. Jack, tell us about our second question.
Our second question was coffee, Dunkin' Donuts versus Starbucks, and Starbucks wins with 49.5% of the vote. Dunkin' had 34.7%, and 15.8% actually voted for some other coffee shop.
And I understand McDonald's was a big part of that others. I asked a bunch of people, and McDonald's is apparently a favorite. Griff, are you a coffee drinker?
No, I'm not a
Good
big
for you. How about you, Jack?
No, I've never really drank coffee.
So this is a drug-free KingCast. Well done, boys. Well done. I did not participate in this as well. Our third question was, would you rather cook dinner or clean up afterwards? Cooking won by a wide margin, 77.6% against 22.4% for cleaning up afterwards. Now, this one's tough. It depends on the meal, obviously. I do enjoy cooking, so I probably would go with cooking as well. Jack, what'd you answer?
I'm so useless at cooking that it's the easy answer for me. I'm always going to clean up.
Do the cleanup?
Frankly, if I cooked, it would take way longer than just washing the dishes.
And Griffin, you can answer this poll question in real time.
So I enjoy cooking. I think it's fun. I don't do much of it, but I would probably go with cooking because I hate doing dishes.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's check in on the lunches for this week. Jack, what's going on Monday?
So on Monday, we have grandma's meatballs with spaghetti. The soup is tomato orzo.
Oh, I wish I had my camera on because I'm rubbing my hands together. Very excited for the grandma's meatballs. They're always very good. I'm excited about that. I love orzo in my tomato soup, so I'm a big fan. Griff, what do we have Tuesday?
Tuesday, we have barbecue pulled pork sliders with baked sweet potato chips, and the soup is a turkey pot pie.
On Wednesday, we have chicken parm with penne marinara. The soup is a kale white bean.
Thursday, we have turkey meat tacos with rice and beans, and the soup is a creamy sweet potato.
And on Friday, another King classic. It's the Greek-style gyro with hash browns. The soup is a vegetable miso.
All right, I'm going to rank these quickly for me. I'm going meatballs, chicken parm, the Greek gyro, pork sliders, and turkey meat tacos. That's how I'm ranking those lunches. What do you got, Griff?
I'll go with the gyro, or however you pronounce it. I'll put that first. I will go barbecue pulled pork sliders second. I'll say meatballs third, chicken parm fourth, and then the turkey meat tacos.
What you got, Jack?
Yeah, I've got the gyro first, the pork sliders second. I've got the turkey meat tacos third. The chicken parm is fourth, and the grandma's meatballs is fifth.
All right, so that's pretty cool. We got a little something going here. We got the ranking of the current week's lunches. So that's kind of fun. All right, you're all wrong, by the way. My ranking was clearly superior. All right, let's move on to our economic data and market price action. Check on economic data for the week ending January 19th. On Friday, we had December existing home sales down 1% to 3.78 million units on an annualized basis versus 3.82 million units in November. Not surprising. High prices, high mortgage rates. January University of Michigan consumer sentiment, 78.8 versus 69.7 in December. A huge move to the upside. Very encouraging for sure. In November, overall net capital flows up 260.2 billion versus down 62.2 billion in October. Griff, what was going on Thursday?
Thursday, we had initial unemployment claims for the week ending January 13th, 187,000 versus 203,000 in the prior week. December housing starts down 4.3% to 1.46 million units annualized versus 1.525 million units in November. And January Philadelphia Federal Reserve Business Conditions Index was -4 versus 12.6 in December.
All right, so some mixed data here. Housing continues to be consistent, right? We talked about existing home sales on Friday. This housing starts on Thursday, both negative. Philly Fed Business Condition Index doesn't line up well with the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. That's very weak for January. And another unprecedented level of initial unemployment claims. I don't know what's going on out there. I read about layoffs all the time. They're not showing up in the data. So if the data is real, it's great data. Jack, what about Wednesday?
So on Wednesday, we had MBA mortgage applications for the week ending January 13th, up 10.4% versus up 9.9% in the prior week. We had December retail sales up 0.8% versus up 0.5% in November. Year over year, up 5.59%. We also had December industrial production up 0.1% versus unchanged in November. And the December capacity utilization, 78.8% versus 78.6% in November.
Recognize that retail sales data, guys, you'll appreciate this coming from AP Econ. That's nominal price levels. Those are nominal prices, not adjusted for inflation. So year over year, good number, 5.6%, but that's at current prices. If we were deflate that by, say, the CPI index, it comes down to about 2.25%. And sadly, that's mostly all on credit card. Household credit card debt is up to record levels. On Tuesday, we had January New York Empire State Manufacturing Index down 43.7 versus down 14.5 in December. Another outlier there on data.
Monday, we did not have any data.
Jack, run the data down for us for this week.
So on Monday and Tuesday, we will have no data. On Wednesday, we will have classic MBA mortgage applications for the week ending January 20th. On Thursday, we have our weekly initial unemployment claims for the week ending January 20th. We also have December durable goods orders, Q4 preliminary GDP. We also have December international trades balance goods only, and December new home sales. We end the week on Friday with December pending home sales.
All right, so by the end of the week, we'll have all of our 4 big housing data points on board to analyze what's happening. We know housing is tough. All right, let's check in on stocks, bonds, currencies, and commodities. As always, how they react to the data. Griff, start us off with the S&P 500.
Yeah, the S&P 500 opened the week at 4,766. The high for the week was the close on Friday at 4,839. The low on Wednesday at 4,716. And again, the market closed on Friday at the highs of 4,839, up 73 points for the week, or up 1.5%.
Holy cow. You'd think we have trouble in the world, and we do seem to have trouble in the world, but U.S. equity markets do not care. Remember, this is all about the Federal Reserve. This has nothing to do with fiscal policy. This is all monetary policy. Presidents, including Joe Biden, including Donald Trump, like to take credit for the stock market, but they don't get credit for the stock market, whether it's up or down. But amazing. I'm a seller of these rallies. I'll tell you, you guys have listened. I've been selling rallies for a while now. All right, checking in on bonds. The benchmark 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield opened the week at 4%, had a high on Friday at 4.9%, a low on Monday at the open at 4%, closed the week at 4.13%, up 13 basis points for the week. This correlation is not right. Higher stocks and higher interest rates are not the correlation we typically see. So something's out of sort there. Will be corrected this week, I'm sure. Jack, how about foreign exchange?
The U.S. dollar index opened the week at 103.15, had a high on Tuesday of 103.69, a low on Monday of 103.106, and a close of 103.24, up 9 pips for the week.
Griff, commodities?
The Dow Jones Commodities Index opened the week 949.17, had a high on Friday of 949.7, a low on Tuesday of 935.07, and a close of 942.05. down 7.12 points for the week, or down 0.75%.
So we have weakness in commodity prices. We have weakness in energy prices. Obviously, demand is not what we expect for these commodities, energy and foods, even though we have the war in Ukraine raging. So some unusual activity in the energy and food sector. So we have higher stock prices on the week, higher interest rates, a strong dollar, and lower commodity prices. Those correlations are not exactly right. We're going to ring those out this week, I'm sure. All right, guys, let's finish off with our friendly reminders.
Do your reading, do your homework, and come to class prepared.
Use your blinker when making turns or switching lanes. Stop signs mean stop, and no texting while driving.
Always try to buy American. That's it for us. Join us again next week. Tell your friends and family. Listen to the KingCast at kingschoolct.org. Academics, upper school, clubs, and activities. We're out.